love upon you to show you that we appreciate you and we honor your space as a creatrix in the universe. And while they are gathering things, if you will, just rest. Take a moment just to rest, knowing that you are in the presence of pure being, pure love, pure imagination. And that when you let go, God within reminds you that all is well and all is already under control. In this sacred time together, we give thanks for the presence of God, the presence of God. We give thanks that all is well, and in divine mind there is no mistakes. And that unity of Birmingham, the community, the people, the visitors, all that are gathered together, the extended community, both in the community of Birmingham proper and online, we are all held together in divine love. And with an idea held in divine mind, we know there are no mistakes and it cannot be broken, that it is already provided for, that all of our needs are already met. So we relax, we let go, and we allow the presence of God to do what it always does. We trust because we know that by trusting God, we trust our innermost selves, for God and I are one. So we give thanks for this service, we give thanks for this week, and we surrender and we let go to the flow of divinity. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, family. I have a short reading before I begin, and something we all know, because we all know the importance of motherhood. Honoring motherhood. Motherhood is a significant role that deserves recognition and appreciation. Mother's Day serves as a special day to honor the contribution and impact of mothers in society. It highlights the importance of their nurturing, caregiving, and guidance in shaping individuals and communities. Acknowledging and appreciating mothers on Mother's Day is important as it validates their sacrifices, expresses gratitude, enhances emotional well-being, strengthens our family unit, sets an example for future generations, and honors the role of motherhood. So let us go then. Letting our feet flat on the floor. Hands facing up. And receiving mode. Eyes closed. With a smile on our faces. Taking some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just relax. Focus on the heart area. Let your mind connect with the heart. But the focus is the heart area. Letting go of anything that does not serve your highest and greatest good. Just let it go. It does not belong to us. Knowing that we are a unique expression of this one power, one presence that we call God, that we call Allah, that we call infinite intelligence, the Atman presence, the great and highest good. The one, isness. It lives, it moves, it has its being, in, through, and as us. It speaks through, in, and as us. When we allow it, when we get out of the way, get the small stuff out of the way, and allow that is the image to express itself through and as us fully. And you can never go wrong when we allow that divine intelligence to express itself through and as us. And just know that you are enough. There's nothing greater than the you that is the you in you, the God you. There's nothing greater. You are love and loved. You are peace and peaceful. Wherever we go, we carry peace with us because that is who and what we are. Even in the midst of what seems to be chaos sometimes, we bless it and know that it's a nothing trying to be a something, because we come bringing our light wherever we go. We take our light with us because it is us fully, just like the flowers that blossoms fully. We blossom. We are continuing to blossom. Better today than yesterday. Better tomorrow than today. More love, more peace, more joy, more harmony, more order, more well-beingness, more joy, more laughter, more dancing. Just put your music on and just dance. For no reason, just dance. Just know that as we dance, that is God dancing through and as us. Let no one tell you that something's wrong with dancing. When you observe nature, you see the leaves moving with the wind. Nature moves gracefully. Sometimes there's storms, and the leaves will move erratically. Sometimes there's storms in our lives. And sometimes we act irrationally, erratically. But we know that there is that something, that thing that is within us, that is us, that is calm, that's the calmness, that only knows itself as itself. As itself. So we allow it to express itself through it as us fully, as all those divine qualities that I just mentioned. Just go into the stillness and listen to the still small voice. See the invisible, hear the inaudible. That's the real. And if you lose your focus on the breath. And so as we bring our attention back to this space, this physical space, we continue this this feeling tone, this reverential tone that's been established as soon as you walk into the sanctuary. And when you leave, continue that space of love and peace and joy. Carry with you everywhere you go. Because it is who and what we are. There's a truth about us. There is nothing else. There's only God. There's only the good. There's only love. There's only peace. There's only all those God qualities allowed to express itself through us fully. And so we hold our brother, Reverend Jesse, in divine consciousness, in love, while he's giving his talk, his allowing God to speak through him. That's the only way to move through life, is to allow God to speak. Let God be doing. That way you make no mistakes. And so it is, and so we're allowed to be. Ashe, amen.
Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine living without you. Now I'm left with memories and all I do is dream. I'm trying to be strong as I go on each day. Living without you forever, you will be my joy. I remember when we used to laugh together. I remember when we shared our first tear. I remember when we gathered for family occasions. You always made my day in your very special way. Precious moments, life is short. Take time with the ones you love. No one knows the day when someone you love may just slip away. Precious moments, life is short. Take time with the one you love. No one knows the day when someone you love may just slip away. Family ties bring our hearts in love together and forever. The joy you leave behind was make us strong. You will always be a light that shines among the stars. In heaven forever, you will be my joy. We have come together as one family to celebrate the life of the one we love. Let's bind together and comfort one another. Go on and shed a tear and remember joy is always near. Precious moments, life is short. Take time with the ones you love. No one knows the day when someone you love may just slip away. Precious moments, life is short. Take time with the ones you love. No one knows the day when someone you love may just slip away.
That was beautiful, beautiful. Sacred text says to be absent in the body is to be present with God. Metaphysically, it means to be present not just with God, but to be present as God, meaning you no longer have a physical body, you're pure spirit. So for those that are no longer here in the now, instead of being in one place, one location, they go everywhere. So in your meditation, in your prayer time, when you tune into spirit and that dropping down happens, some people lift up, but however you go, the feeling of dropping down or lifting up, that lack of body feeling is an invitation to what happens when we step out of this mortal frame and then we realize that we never really go anywhere. Everything is all connected. The Bible says that we are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. So even though you might feel alone, you might feel by yourself, especially during times like this, in remembrance of those who are either transitioning, who have transitioned, or who you are worried might transition. Just know that you are all interconnected and they can never really go anywhere because they exist in you, with you, as you. If you will take a deep breath, place one hand on your heart, the other one on your forehead. Just allow the mind in this moment to fold into the heart, to make that couple inches journey of mind folding into heart. And when that happens, when the knowing and the feeling come together, Jesus said, when two or three are gathered together, mind, heart, and feeling, the third is the body. There's a collective I there. That I consists of all of your family, all of your friends, both here and now, all of those that are long gone, so that when you leave this place and walk into Monday, it's your ancestors that are speaking through you. It's your mothers that are no longer here that are speaking through you. It's all of the caregivers and all of those who have wished you well, some of those who have done the best that they could, and some that you might still be angry with today. But they live the life as best as they knew how, through all the hurt, the pain, and the trauma that they may have caused you. But your ancestors will speak through you. Those who love you will speak through you. And when you walk out into life, you're walking into life with more power because you have and are surrounded by love. With me, take a big, deep breath. Release the divine sound of utilizing your powers of elimination, letting it all go, knowing that when you let go, that God comes in. Before we bless those online, one more thing to say, just as a reminder. If you remember anything, then remember this, what we've established here today in the Temple of Love, according to my good friend, that you are exactly where God was when God became you. Process Theology, C. Allen Anderson. You are exactly where God was became you. So when you relax into love and relax into understanding, both spiritually and physically, know that you are doing the best you can, that the people in your life, though they made mistakes, did the best that they could. Know that God is constantly becoming you, and harmonizing with that thought is where your healing takes place. So as you listen to the message and enjoy the experience of love in this house, remember to take this with you. Take it into Monday, take it into Tuesday, take it into Wednesday. You don't need to explain. You don't even have to talk about that or those people or the memories of mothers or the memories of childhood. But take the experience of love with you, because love covers a multitude of sins, multitude of mistakes. Forgiveness isn't about giving someone a free pass. Forgiveness is about freeing myself so that I may have peace. Because me holding on to anger and resentment isn't going to cause them pain. It's only going to hurt myself. And so in this safe space, sacred space, but safe space, take this energy and this atmosphere with you so that your healing can be facilitated not just today, but Monday through Saturday. If you will, point your hands at the camera. Let's send this special blessing to those that are watching online. Say this with me. Divine love in us blesses and multiplies all that you hear, all that you receive. Know in this moment you are safe and you are loved, and so it is. Our ministry is supported by partners like you. Remember to log on to unitybham.org and click on giving. Moderators are on standby, and I do believe we have prayer chaplains both virtually in the chat room and also spread across the congregation, because now we got so many. Put your hands together for all the prayer chaplains all over the place. We got one here in the middle, we got two in the middle, we got one over here, we got one online, we got former prayer chaplains, current prayer. We got them everywhere. Everybody's a prayer chaplain. So say this with me. I'm covered. Whatever you need, you're covered. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is good to be back in the household of faith. And if you will join me for an opening affirmation. We are now in the presence of pure being and the Holy Spirit of love and oneness provides all of our needs. So it is. It's an opening invocation, adding a few words, give or take, from Charles Fillmore. And these opening invitations, they really do open us up. And it's difficult to be open during holidays. Who does holidays badly? It's like, oh my God, it's another holiday. Holidays are sort of like society's way of saying, okay, we're going to engage in a mass ritual. We're all going to do this. But whether you participate in this holiday voluntarily or you feel like you were forced to do it, I want you to find yourself in this message too. Because everything from the music to the experience of the meditation, the opening prayer, the message that's coming through, all of it is necessary as we navigate collectively the human journey. Today's message title and our theme of inner work is called Healing the Inner Child. If you will say that title with me, Healing the Inner Child. So all of the stuff that you are experiencing right now, even for those that are coming out of the Art of Living meditation, which was a powerful meditation that those who went on that journey participated in, all of that stuff is necessary. And although sometimes it may not feel like it is because Monday is coming, Tuesday is coming, Wednesday is going to be here, Thursday and Friday will be here. You don't know what any of those days are going to bring. So you want to make sure you have enough in your tank. So this healing work that we do, it heals the past without us having to go into our issues and into the things that we are disappointed about and into the things that we both love and just miss. Because sometimes our experience of holidays and Mother's Day isn't bad because we were traumatized. It's just because there are things that we miss. You know, sometimes we miss our mothers, and sometimes we look at our mothers as they age, and we think about the future, and it makes us worry, and they ain't even gone nowhere yet. It's like my mom used to say, why are you just looking at me like that? And in my head, I've already planned the funeral and thought about who to call. And she's like, something wrong with you. You act like your dad. But this is what we do. We just kind of drift away. But our practices, they bring us back to the present moment. And they remind us, like we said during the opening, that to be absent in the body is to be present with spirit and to be present as spirit. So nobody never really leaves. I know y'all thought y'all were getting out of here, but nobody really goes anywhere. You are just reminded that you are everywhere. And imagine how powerful you could be if you knew that you were everywhere. Like a good mother. She's in the kitchen, she's at school, grading homework, working, taking care of whatever else is going on, and then she makes time for herself in 6 months. Everywhere. But imagine how powerful you could be if you knew that you were everywhere. And this power is available to us all, believe it or not. All we have to do is recognize it. But sometimes through the journey of life, that power gets sort of thwarted, and I'll apologize if I take my time this morning. That power gets thwarted because of circumstances and things that we experience, people and places and things and relationships. And for many of us that have experienced uncomfortable childhoods, it starts there. Now, one of the things that I've learned about the presence of God and the presence of Spirit is that you don't need to go into your entire story in order to qualify for healing. Because if you will say this with me, everyone is doing the best they can. And once you understand that, my mom used to always say, when you become a parent, you'll know. And I found out rather quickly. I just spent $100 yesterday. What do you mean you're upset with me today? That don't matter. That was yesterday. Today is a new day. So you recognize that what I'm talking about and what we experience in life, it's the human condition. That we all have needs and things that we want and things that we experience and ups and downs and ins and outs and disappointments. And so as we move through childhood and move from childhood to adolescence and then eventually into adulthood, when we reach a point in our maturity and we think back, my main point is if you focus on the things that went wrong, you will miss out on the things that went right. And so in this space, if you allow your mind to open up, especially those who had traumatic histories, and look at the notion of just being here. And find a way, doesn't have to be today, doesn't have to be tomorrow, but find a way to be grateful to just be alive. And who you give credit for that, if you can't give that credit to your mother, then give that credit to God and see your mother as a vessel from which you came through. And wherever you may be on that spectrum, from that on what we call the severe side, to on this side where you had a wonderful childhood, wherever you find yourself, I want you to allow your mind to become so open that you can see humanity, you can see the world, you can see yourself, you can see your mother, your grandmother as a person doing the best that he or she can. Because this is Mother's Day too, but I do want to honor those who may not have had a mom, but they had a caregiver. I want to make sure this message is wide enough to where it reaches everybody and still honor our moms. John Bradshaw, where we get the term the inner child from Carl Jung. But John Bradshaw and many others did a lot of work on the inner child in the 70s and the 80s. And John Bradshaw said that the inner child basically covers that age from basically conception through adolescence. And it's the source of our joy. It's the source of our pain and irritation, but it's the source of our joy. It's the source of our strength. It explains why we attach the way we do, why we love the way we do, the things that we need, the things that we want in life, and how we react when we don't get them. What does that have to do with Mother's Day? Glad you asked. Everything good that you do for yourself in life, including coming to church, spiritual practice, prayer, meditation, all of that is an aspect of mothering the soul, of mothering that inner child, of reparenting. Say this affirmation with me. Spiritual practice is an act of self-parenting. When you sit on your meditation cushion, the mind mothers the soul. The mind mothers the soul. In many cases, the mind is critical. In many cases, the mind is nurturing. In many cases, the mind is strengthening. But the mind nurtures the soul. And for many of us, we haven't fully matured in every area of our life because sometimes stuff happens. And so that inner child that we keep talking about, that people keep hearing about, is about as far as we've grown in certain areas of our life. I'll give you an example. We get mad, we lash out. That's not just an inner child, that's a present inner child who has not grown up and developed coping skills on how to react to life. But regardless, without pointing fingers or being critical, because I'm here too, I'm right here with you guys. Every time you do something kind for yourself, every time you put yourself in a safe space, every time you're in a loving environment, all of the hurts and pains and experiences from the past that have thwarted you in childhood, that you are still feeling the effects of now, where holidays like Mother's Day are not a blessing, but they're triggering for you. When you do those kind things to yourself, you facilitate your own inner healing. It's sort of like God and you make up the difference for what you felt you didn't have. God and you make up the difference for what you felt you didn't have. And to give all the moms in the room credit, you're not supposed to have done it all by yourself. The presence of God, the presence of life within you works within you. Do you know how hard it is to make yourself happy? Imagine how hard it actually is to please another human being. It's tough. Think about it for a second. It's uncomfortable, but it's tough making another person happy. So in addition, not excusing, to giving your children everything that you could give them possibly, you're going to still accidentally traumatize them. It's tough. It's like, I love you, but I'm still going to disappoint you because it is the nature of the human experience to both love and also disappoint. Because as human beings, hear me what I say, we can't meet all of someone else's needs. So for our children, we teach them how to grow up, how to meet their own needs, so that what they don't get from us, instead of holding it against us and holding us hostage and holding themselves hostage for the rest of their lives, they learn how to get it from God. And then prayerfully, hopefully, when that child grows up, both of you can come together and have a conversation and see that it was the presence of God all along that allowed the good things that happened to happen. I messed around and called my mama a couple weeks ago, and I asked her, I said, so how did I get here? She said, well, I got 3 words for you. Gas, grass, and you figure out the other word. And I was like, Mom, I didn't say nothing bad. I just said gas and grass. And she said, you wanted to know the truth. And I said, yeah. She said, the truth is shocking, isn't it? And my mom is like that. She shocks you in order to teach you something about the realities of life, to pull you out of the fantasy that we have, to put your feet on the ground. So through her own investigation of her life and the choices that she made, I got here. And I think I turned out okay. I wouldn't have chosen my conception and inception, but I'm still here. That is how you reconcile the inner child. You listen to it, you give it space, you listen to all of its complaints, and then you speak the truth to it. And that truth might be an uncomfortable truth. It might be a truth that you can't say to it by yourself. You may have to sit in safe space and in safe company, but by speaking to it softly, kindly, gently, prayerfully, what happens is its worldview expands and it starts to see human beings as human beings. Powerful, sometimes not powerful. Intellectual, smart, capable, sometimes still makes bad choices. Say this with me. This is who we are.
This is who we are.
But we can become so much more when we surrender to the presence of God as it moves through us. And that conscious awakening of that experience, it happens over time. But what's interesting is by the time we get there, sometimes our children are already grown. And we wish that we had the knowledge and the spirituality now, back then, and maybe we could have raised them better. But that maybe doesn't do anything but terrify and torment the soul. Because if you take now what you had back then, they wouldn't have the lessons and the inner wisdom and the inner strength that they have now. So it doesn't work like that. You don't get to take this back there without changing what's there and here. The world doesn't work that way. Isn't God funny? God has a wonderful sense of humor. We all come here forgetting. Place your finger on the tip of your lip. There's an old Kabbalah story, almost finished. You can take it down. In Kabbalism, or Kabbalah, the Jewish mysticism, it said that before you got here, you made a pact with the angels. And the angels told you about how powerful and how wonderful you would be, and all of the things that you would experience and everything that you would go through. Before you could say anything, they placed their finger on the tip of your lip and said, shh. That's how you got the indentation there. And you forgot everything and came here unknowing. But the fact of the matter is, you're here now. So for the inner child that all of us carry, it's the source of joy, it's the source of pain, it's the source of irritation. But when we open ourselves up to the presence of love and to the true nature of life, that people are doing the best they can, that our parents got us here, that our mothers got us here. And for those of us that have good mothers and good caregivers who stood in the gap and helped to make the difference, be grateful for that time. And here's a true fact, that for those of us that feel that we are missing something, guess what? In communities like this, you're surrounded by mothers. So as soon as you say yes, and as soon as you're willing to open up and see, you can never be in a place of lack. Because there's a mom right here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here that can give you what you need. Breathe that in with me. Take a deep breath. Let that go. Tiny bit of history. Myrtle Fillmore said that when we tune within and how to let God help you, yes, we'll see the inner child, my part, I'm ad-libbing that part, but Myrtle Fillmore says we get a clearer understanding of ourselves, and then divine calmness happens. Quick biblical story, and then I'll be finished. John chapter 6, right around that 8th verse. Everybody remember the story of the little boy feeding the 5,000 with his 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish? That's the New Testament story of the inner child, and how the inner child is able to, when partnered with spirit, with divinity, the divine nature within, heal a multitude within us. All of the hunger, the pain, the resentment, the trauma, and also help those parts of us that are well. When that inner child, little child, surrendered to the divine nature within us, helps the rest of us to blossom. But the historical piece, that part, that story in the book of John, was written sometime in the 2nd to 4th century. We say that Jesus lived in the 1st century, but that oral tradition was pinned down in what's called Koine Greek. In the 2nd to 4th century, Koine Greek was the language of the Roman Empire. This particular story was written and discovered on what we call now Papyrus 66. And it could be located probably either in the Vatican Library or in the Library in Geneva, Switzerland. But it was discovered in 1952 in Egypt. And it's important to understand the history because you get the historical human side of the story while also getting the mythological and divine side of the story. But within that text, that 6th chapter, this little boy, had 5 loaves, 2 fishes. Jesus had called people out, and everybody was hungry, if you remember the story from childhood. And Andrew said, there's a little kid with some food. Everybody's hungry. So Andrew discovered the little kid, brought him to the Christ. But the interesting part that I've always wondered was, if he had 5 loaves and 2 fishes, who gave him the food? It was his mother. His mother packed him a lunch. And by surrendering all that he had to the Christ, first he was discovered by Andrew. Andrew, mystically in unity teachings, is strength. In Greek mythology, Andrew is where we get the word androgyny from. It's andros, meaning man. Andros and gyros is male, female. So he was sent by his mother, gyros, discovered by his spiritual father, andros, and then delivered over to the Christ. My point, that when mind and body, mind and heart, thinking and feeling come together, grab a hold of all of this inner child stuff, surrender it to the Christ within, which happens every time you take a breath. Every time trauma comes up in the soul, you move yourself to a good feeling. Every time something negative happens, you allow yourself the opportunity to feel good. Every time you want to stay home during holidays like this, you decide to come together in communities. This is how the little child with the 5 loaves and 2 fishes surrenders to the Christ within. And so whatever happened in childhood, good, bad, or indifferent, it all gets healed. And you might think the most powerful element, last point, is all of the intellectual stuff that you've acquired by being an adult. I beg to differ. The most powerful element within you is your inner child, because that is the thing that the inner Christ used in order to work the miracle. And watch this. It didn't just feed one person. It fed an entire multitude. The joy, the happiness, the smile, the sense of humor, the goofiness, all of the wonderful qualities that you possess now, they spring forth from your inner child. My invitation to you on this Mother's Day is that you allow your mind to mother your heart in such a way that it heals every part of you. And by surrendering that to the inner Christ, not only will it bless you, but it will bless all of those that are around you, making this day a pleasant and a sweet day and not a day of sorrow and pain. Take a deep breath. Allow this information to rest, rule, and abide within your spirit, knowing in this community and outside of this community that you are loved more than you could ever know. Thank you for listening. Peace and blessings. For those of you that are tuning online, remember to log on to unitybham.org and click on giving. Our ushers are making their way forward to collect the offering for those that give in-house. And LaDonna's going to give us a special instrumental. Take it away, LaDonna.
Y'all are welcome to join.
So much better when you're laughing. If you will, point your hands in the direction of the offering. Say this with me: we bless this offering. She already got one. Miss Peggy, you're on a mission, boy. I feel sorry for traffic sometimes. it'll be used for the building of this ministry. We bless the givers. We declare their gifts will return to them with good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Put your hands together for yourself.
If we could all stand for Let There Be Peace. Protection. The light of God surrounds us.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is.
Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.
Thank you much, and join us in the lobby.